Musiker-Board word. Herman Li, the guy that frequently gets speeding tickets playing guitars. And what I learned today, already in the first 2 hours being at RockMeVienna, where you are the host for this event, is that there's much more behind it. You help people getting ideas for jams, and you're taking care of us pretty good. You're smiling all the time, so it's not just about speed.
Yeah, you know, this is something that really matters to me, you know, like players that come here to these events, because I remember when I was learning to play the guitar, these events didn't exist, but for me it was always like a dream for me if I can get on stage and play with these incredible players, and having this, you know, this is special events. We can really go up there and play and have a great time, and it's not a competition. It's about helping each other out and having a great time. So, you know, seeing the students even only playing a year of guitar would go out, be brave enough to play with me, Andy Timmons, and other players is really, really cool. And I'm trying to help all the players behind the scene after jamming with them to see, okay, what can we improve? How can we make the experience even better, more fun the next day? So we're on the third night of jam now, for example. I'm making sure, you know, I can help all the players out there that needs help, you know, to improve their experience.
And fun.
Absolutely. The fun factor is very important, and help them have confidence. I think there's something about you can help them play. There's a lot of incredible players here teaching the art of the guitar. But one thing that I try to help here beyond that is the confidence, because unlocking that confidence is going to help them be able to actually play. And going up to play with these guys here, Victor Smilski, Frank Mbali, Andy Timmons, jamming with them with so much experience, you're going to be scared, you know?
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, independent if there's some biggies and monsters, guitar monsters on the stage, everybody that goes on the stage, local jam session or with their band, kind of the first step is to stay in your own world while you do it. You don't be influenced by the situation. Don't be afraid, because most of us managed many hurdles in life to get over. Why not getting over the thing being on stage?
Yeah, absolutely.
So, if you would kind of reduce it, melt it down, confidence. Next, to kind of get into the solo, perhaps rely on 1 or 2 notes, make them sing. Good idea?
Yeah, I think we don't need to overplay.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's, you know, I try to work with the players to think, these are your strengths in this part of the guitar.
Yeah.
You only get maybe 16 bars for that moment. Let's make what you're best at shine, and you know, and have fun. You know, obviously every player is different. Some players are more advanced, some people are more beginners, and we try to get the best out of each performer. And one performer, I was really happy to see him, you know, improving just within 20 minutes after even just adding vibrato into his playing, that he didn't. You know, when you're playing, you don't pay attention sometimes of, you know, things you can improve.
Perhaps it's also kind of that because we slowed him down first. I was in that session. We slowed him first down, which gave him time to apply it. I think his first approach was play notes, play notes, play notes. But we frequently forget that what people recognize from us is not the note, because everybody plays the same note. It's the way we play it. And therefore I think that help was pretty good. First, okay, we take a slower track, bring everything down, you're not in a hurry, don't feel pressure. And now what can you do with 1 or 2 notes? There's personality in there.
Yeah, you know, because if you're playing a lot of notes, there's less dynamics to it. Then when you're really working on a few notes, you can inject your personality more on the dynamics on those few notes. And then when you add the human body and the expression of the face into the playing, and I was trying to get everyone to relax and just kind of get into it.
Yeah.
Then you really see a performer here. This is not just a jam. You're performing to the audience.
Yeah.
And I love that everyone is really, you know, get into it. Everyone's doing it. Yeah, that's important. No one is saying, I'm scared, you know, we're going to do it.
I am scared, but it's a different story.
And so I try to, you know, touch on the subjects beyond, you know, what the other players are, you know, teaching.
Yeah.
You know, because I'm there jamming every single night, and I'm watching everyone jam every night. So I can see how we can help the students here, you know, have more fun, because they're gonna take this video home and go, yeah, man, I rocked out.
Yeah. Look how they cheered me up on the other side. I didn't recognize at that time on the stage, but they're really friendly, the other players. And obviously, you also brought a group of players in that is friendly enough not to make a challenge out of it. Because I think there's some players out there as well. It's okay, whoever is going to come, first thing I'm going to nail him to the wall and then make sure I have my claim set. And I think the choice of guests is pretty good in that respect.
Yeah, and very different players from different era and different background, and a lot of experience in teaching and producing different, you know, this is really a diverse, I would say, instructor on this event.
Last trick to get into a solo you mentioned, and we don't want to hide it from the folks, is give the audience a mini chance to forget what the player in front of you did. So don't try to get forced into it. Play the bar. And here I am. I like that and that idea as well.
I see a lot of the players that come here. This is probably the first time really performing in front of people.
Okay.
And there aren't really instructional videos on how to perform. You know, people worry about the details a lot, and that's very important. But one of my first lessons on this trip, on this event, is how do we use the bad techniques, the wrong techniques to make the show?
Yeah.
Because, you know, everything that is precise and nicely picked sounds great, but visually, unless you're a guitar player, it makes less impact than those big chords and the big bends and moving that guitar up when you bend with it.
Does Justin know about that?
You know, everyone has a different approach, of course. That's why we have different instructors, right? I'm teaching them a different kind of thing than sweep picking, and to be honest, that is one of those things that you can improve very quickly.
Yeah.
And I saw that result there, just even them throwing some shapes on the body, bending a little bit the legs, and then I see actually the whole energy, the soul opening up onto the guitar playing. They're less stiff, they're less, you know, like worried about the technique so much. And, you know, it reminds me of, like, you know, the old Hendrix and all the incredible players back then. You don't need the fast note, don't need arpeggios, you just need that one note and the feel of getting in there. And it's funny coming from the guy from Dragon Force who's known for playing fast, but, you know,
Yeah, but that's a trademark should not prevent you from doing other stuff or recognizing other stuff. As you said, with your POS guitar, you made sure that you're allowed to be seen with any kind of guitar.
Yeah, and
because the guitar drags you into a specific direction, and I mean that's kind of this combination now is Dragon Force.
Yeah, but you know the funny thing about this guitar design is made for me to also play at home, because you know this music we talk about, I love listening to Hendrix, Gary Moore, different kind of guitar players.
Yeah.
And this is the guitar that I made so I can play at home too, that I wouldn't play the stuff on stage, like, you know, the rock stuff, the coil splitting with the third voice. So, you know, we can make a total of 13 different sounds on this model and the SE with these pickups. So the coil splitting, you know, to make a third voice of the single coil, We got the double humbucker as well, with 2 different voices. You know, that brings me to Gammy more the Les Paul kind of like warm tone.
Yeah.
I can sit at home and play to some of my favorite music and emulate that tone with this guitar, even though I don't use it on stage with Dragon Force. I keep to the signature kind of like tone.
Stuff you play. However, at least one aspect of Hendrix is probably not possible due to the Floyd, which is playing a drone, like a thumb drone, have the B ring out, do bendings without losing the B.
Well, we can actually.
You can? Okay, so it's set up hard enough to allow you like a full step before it gets out of tune alone?
I set it up with a stabilization system.
Oh, okay.
So I can, when I bend one string,
okay, the rest stays,
the other stays in tune. So I can still do all the stuff without having to bend 2 notes.
Okay.
So this got the advantage of a fixed bridge guitar.
Okay.
And still have all the thing I can do on
all the
on a
things you
floating
can do.
bridge.
Okay, I wasn't aware of that.
Yeah, so this, so you know,
just for a split second, I thought I have you there.
yeah, you almost got me there. But as you know, Paul Smith said to me, Herman, you are like me. You got guitar written on your bones.
Yeah.
So I'm as obsessed about guitar as the guys at PRS. That's why we really get on doing this. And I said, I want as many features that I want to take away some of the disadvantages that people don't like on a floating bridge.
Yeah, okay.
Of having to tune a million times and having this instability. So this one, you know, what I don't like about floating bridge is when you bend, the bridge move forward.
Yeah.
So it's fighting your vibrato, it's fighting your bends.
It's going against you.
Yes, but this doesn't. It
Okay.
doesn't move at all. And,
Okay.
and if you want to use heavier gauge, then you just increase the
do
tension,
more tension there.
of the stabilizer, which will stabilize the bridge. So in a way, you know, this is really a something that's going to work for a lot of players. That if they like fixed bridge, you want to experiment a little bit with it, we have it here.
Yeah. That's cool. Earlier on, you said in regard to sound, you're on the digital end of it. I've been at the NAMM show at the Paul Reed Smith party. Did the computer finally boot it up?
Yeah, that's kind of funny. They announced me before I plugged anything in and started it.
Okay.
So if they announce you, you have to come on stage.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like, well, I'll come on stage and press the button then. I thought they're going to set out first, and then so it's like a bit of miscommunication on that one. So that's the thing about digital stuff. You know, a camper needs to boot up.
Yeah,
you know,
and it needs time,
Yeah, and then the Quad Cortex at that time, I took it with me because it's small. The Linux operating system needs to start. But you know, there's advantages and disadvantages, right? I can take something and not having to worry about. It will be roughly my sound, and with the effects and all that. And it's, how do you say, being running a band, the Dragon Force for me, you know, and having to, you know, understand the lights and the click and the and the pyros and the video screen all synchronized together, the live show to make the production big. You have to use something to do with MIDI anyway, so I don't have to press pedals anymore. Okay. You know?
So that then helps at least. Are there other scenarios where you're more the sound gourmet? Do you ever come back to real amps, like for a studio session or stuff like that?
I still have my Mesa Boogie 250 power amps that I use. I still have that I use with actually digital products with it and a cab. I have a Marshall 1960B that I still have that I use on my early albums and touring. So, you know, I like to play through them. I can do that at home, but on tour, it's just not.
On tour,
it's just inflexible for a show. You know, I programmed or worked on the show to need these components. You know, even the like pyrotechnics comes off on the the computer tells it, and the computer when it's time for me to solo, the computer will switch on my pedals. So I don't need to run back and forth. So it's you know, some of the amps you can still do MIDI on it, but it's not enough sounds on it.
It's also kind of a generation thing. I had a Fender Toolmaster Pro for testing from Fender, and never wanted to get into digital. But I worked myself in for 3 months basically because I also wanted to write a review, which definitely got a monster in regard to content. And as soon as I was starting to understand the machine and what I can do with it, it started to work as well for me. So for me, digital needs a learning curve as your regular amp, as your pedal board, where you tweak one and the one on the right side goes in a completely different direction just because somewhere in the signal path you change something. It's a learning curve, and then you have to find out what works for you.
Yeah, for me, I view this as the tool for the job. That's why I have so many guitars, because at home I play this guitar, but funny enough, earlier this year I bought a Yngwie Malmsteen Strat because it's really harsh on your fingers.
And you wanted to try the scallop?
Scallop, because everything's scalloped and you basically just touching metal.
Yeah.
So it's harsh for my fingers, but I wanted it to be harsh on my fingers. It's a tool for me to keep my calluses strong while I'm not touring and playing every single day. So each time it's much more workout. And then I switched to this and everything become easier. So I'm like working, I bought some really cheap bottom of the range guitars this year for me to practice on, to make it harder. It's like, okay, I build a guitar that's actually kind of too easy to play. For me, sometimes that it doesn't help, it's too easy. I need some challenging, like going to the gym, and then you go and play this. Oh, this is so much easier now. I can even play better.
Okay. So, but to be honest, even the cheap ones, there's no real bad gear out there anymore.
Well,
there's non-matching gear to you or me, but the gear itself, with the repetition they're able to build, I think they got quite far.
I think for more beginner guitar players, someone hasn't experienced guitar for like 10, 20 years, some of the more affordable guitar build from unknown or new brands, that you can buy direct, I don't think the players can hear the differences that I can hear in terms of the frets are not 100% level.
Sure.
If I take a fret rocker onto the guitar, it will be click, 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 left and right. And I can hear instantly that, okay, this is not level.
Yeah.
But for the price of what it is, it's great. I had no access to guitars like that at my age for that price.
That's what I meant. Starting got a lot easier because the general quality went up a little.
Yeah.
Yours comes in a core model and in a SE model?
Yes.
You tried both?
I toured with the SE model before release to make sure I've tested that guitar to be tour ready professional sound.
Okay.
And so, the two really sound very similar. In a way, I actually think I'll tell you something, it's kind of weird. So if I plug the two guitars in on the cable, this one sounds more full than the SE model. The way that the combination of wood, it's a little bit fatter.
Yeah.
If I plug it through the wireless, the SE model sounded fatter.
Okay.
Because it's losing some tone.
Some of the wireless takes
in a different way.
Away.
So that's what I know from touring them and testing them in sound check and wireless. So, wow, the sound guy said, well, the SE sound better today. It's kind of funny because only through the wireless. And I toured with it, I played with it, and they're very close in terms of playability.
Okay.
I would say what you lose in the SE, that you can't redo is, you see my thumb can get all the way here. Most guitars,
stop earlier.
Stop here. And for me, because it was to make a guitar that works for everybody. Players that use thumb a lot, the big hands, they need the bend, the Hendrix you're talking about. We could put the thumb in there, and I wanted that too in there. And as you can see, the access is just insane here. Like at the beginning when I had this guitar, I had to relearn how to slide down here because I would overshoot. Most guitars it stops, you get too far. You're in 22 already.
There's a defined end.
Yeah, the defined end is now much further down. So this is something that if someone get one of my guitars, they have to adjust a little bit. It doesn't take long, but like, okay, now I got too much access. Bending here is wrong, I gotta bend here.
My main guitar are strats and strat layouts. Whenever I play an LP, everything's further over here. My hand is completely in a different
The
position.
position of the guitar
So
change, yeah.
that part you have to learn with the guitar anyway to find
Yeah.
the comfort zone or the angles.
But that's why you see the horn here on the top, they look like it sticks out quite a bit.
Which is balance.
It is for the balance to match my guitars that I'm used to playing. The pin has to be here. You measure the pin distance on the guitar, and
so
they have to
the
match.
balance point. Yeah.
Yeah, because I don't want to relearn after playing guitar for like a guitar shape previously for like, I don't know, 20s, 30 years or something. We needed to. So that's why the certain thing about this guitar, the shape is made that way to not having to relearn the guitar positions. Yeah.
Which is a good thing if you get your tool made to you.
Exactly, I made this to me, but someone who used to like a Stratocaster, double cut guitar, right? Like the Super Strats, like the Jacksons, the Ibanez, they're very similar in terms of the pin position, of course, and this is the same kind of distance for pin position as my old Ibanez signature guitar that I played for, a long time. Yeah.
Next, how picky are you with your specific radius and layout? Because I must say I have one guitar that was previously owned by Paul himself, because we had plenty of good chats as well, and I was looking to buy that core model, and I was sitting, neck doesn't match, doesn't feel like what I experienced being in his office in Maryland. And so I tried to find out if there's any change to it, and somebody told me, yeah, Paul has a slightly different neck profile. Next time we met, hands on top of each other, exact match.
Really?
That explained a bit of that. Why? Because if he can design it for himself, he will obviously do the best for his hand. Hands matched, so it worked for me pretty good as well.
Yeah.
What is your go-to?
This is obviously a shape that was designed for me, and I look at it as an experienced player that have played a lot of the fast playing guitar. So, I've gone to a place which is beyond just the shape. So before talking about the shape, I'm like, my old guitars were laminated necks. 3 pieces glued together. Of course, it helps with the cost. On the core model, this is a 1 piece with just the ears here. So because if you're a real guitar snob, then some people believe it, some people don't believe it, but the more you play a guitar, it ages and the sound change, the wood structure actually change. And I can tell you, I have guitars that are old and played a lot. They sound different when everything else is equal. And I want a guitar with a 1-piece neck that will age with time. So that's why this is not a laminated neck. And in order to make this shape, which is a thin, easy, fast neck, they really have to have high quality wood to make that. And we have titanium inside, rods there to two in there to keep that. So this extremely stable. We have a little volute here, so we never need to worry about the headstock breaking that you hear about with other guitars. And the shape is a 20-inch radius, so it's even flatter than, I guess,
it's like an acoustic guitar, more or less.
A
nylon guitar.
You can say that. Some of the like classical guitars like that. But this is the new modern guitar, the new playing techniques, and it actually, I wouldn't say require it, but it helps with the more modern techniques. I play some like Tosin Abasi's guitars. I played a lot of my friends' guitars. That some have gone into 20-inch radius, and I had a few other ones. I thought, wow, this is the way for me to evolve. My previous guitar was not 20, so this is actually the first 20-inch radius guitar, like fretboard, with a basically, a double locking bridge system that was basically produced. We have to have a custom nut here to make sure we match the 20 radius on the fret, and also the Skoda bridge is of course designed to match 20. Because some people actually ask me, do they match the thing? of course we managed to think, but
Yeah.
they've never seen a locking bridge with a 20. That's why I said, did they actually do it? So of course we did it. Yeah, we have to, otherwise you buzz. Yeah, you know,
not gonna work.
Yeah, so the rate, this really makes it so effortless to play.
Okay.
Further than before, you know?
Okay. So basically thumb behind neck and seldom over?
Both.
Both. Because I've been at the concert, and for me most of like the fast stuff is played like piano.
Fast stuff, thumb behind.
Right. And so I didn't. And you've been playing classical rock themes, the Purple with Paul at an M Show stage, but I forgot to look at the thumb.
So thumb is, you know, when you're doing these kind of things,
Yeah, you need
thumb
the
is
anchor.
important. The anchor of here, and then this anchor, depending where you are. So thumb is a good thing to have, and I think if you're a dynamic player, you will want to be able to use the thumb and not the thumb at all. So I use the thumb when you need to, and no thumb obviously when you need to do stretches. Your hand kind of adjusts to the movement of not just the note of the way you stand and how you're performing to the audience.
Okay, audience, by the way, is waiting. Therefore, I let you go now. I really enjoyed that chat, and it's a great event you started here. And I talked to plenty of the visitors already, and they all say it's an experience to be that close, to get that insights and make their brain work, and then later on makes their heart work, and they want to do more guitar. So it's a good thing. Thank you very much.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
And see you later at the jam, folks.